This is total dominance. Hans Niemann says, when I win to Magnus Carlsen, then proceeded to lose the bronze medal match against Hikaru Nakamura. Hikaru starts off the game as white, playing f3. We have the time at the bottom there. We have d5 by Hans Niemann and g3 by Hikaru, knight to c6, pawn forwards, and they played this exact opening a couple times with the c3 pawn going forwards, and it is a very interesting opening. We have e6 and bishop to g2. So it's a 5-minute game, so they have a lot more time to think than in the 3-minute and 1-minute. But bishop goes to e7, and Hikaru just castles, plays it easy. We have h5 by Hans Niemann, and this is probably my favorite move in the game. It serves pretty much no purpose, except not in this game, but just any game. In the whole game of chess, just pushing a flank pawn to start an attack with your pawns. We have h3 by Hikaru, defending amazingly. And Hans Niemann plays knight to f6, developing his pieces. Hikaru immediately pins it to the bishop and the queen, and he moves it immediately. Hikaru takes, Hans Niemann takes back, and Hans Niemann has these nice pieces developed really well, and Hikaru has all of his pieces either on the back rank or barely developed, but that doesn't matter for Hikaru. He's just going to keep on developing, defends a5 with a4, and Hans Niemann's going crazy. Pushes a5, pushes h5, both his flank pawns up. Now he pushes g5. Crazy. I love it. He pushes all of his pawns 2 forwards. This is exactly how I would play. Hikaru drops back his knight, rerouting it probably to this square, or he's just going to try to take here. We have Hans Niemann pushing his pawn forwards, not knowing what he's doing, because now Hikaru can push his pawn forwards, kick out the bishop, and these pawns aren't really creating an attack anymore. So Hans Niemann puts his bishop back, and we have Hikaru taking the knight with his knight. We have pawn takes, pawn to f3, a great move. That means that it's the only good move in the position. We have d5 by Hans Niemann and e5 by Hans Niemann and d5 by Hikaru. Pawn takes f3 by Hans Niemann, attacking this bishop now. And now Hikaru can kind of take back with the knight if he wants to. This knight is hanging, so he decides to take with the knight, and Hans Niemann castles. Now, if Hikaru takes the hanging knight, he loses his queen. And earlier, if he took the hanging knight, he would lose his bishop. So he doesn't want either of those things to happen, so he takes back the pawn. So Hikaru drops his knight back to d2. We have queen to c5 by Hans Niemann. It is a check, and this knight has been hanging for so long. We have rook to f2. Now Hans Niemann finds an amazing tactic. Look at his time here. In a minute, a whole minute and 2 seconds, he plays a brilliant pawn move, sacrificing this knight one more time because there is a threat of this fork. If you take here, pawn forwards, and now if you move your rook or something, it's not even like a really good move. Rook f5 isn't terrible, and it loses it to that. But this was the idea. We'll just go like rook here, pawn takes, and now you're just in check too. So crazy. You can't take back that pawn. Hans Niemann played the brilliant move, and now we have Hikaru taking back with the bishop. Hans Niemann plays knight to e5, and now Hikaru drops his bishop back. We have rook to e8 by Hans Niemann. A mistake, not a good move, but Hikaru doesn't find it. He just attacks the queen, and now it's not super winning anymore because you still have to defend this knight with your queen, and now he jumps it into the middle of the board, so I guess he doesn't have to keep defending with his queen, but he does lose this b2 pawn. He doesn't take it yet, but he plays knight here, attacking it with 2 attackers, and you can't really defend it. Hikaru tries to defend it anyways, but it's futile after knight to e3 by Hans Niemann, hitting this bishop, just defended by this rook. It is a nasty knight that's literally hitting pretty much everything in Hikaru's position. Those are all the squares it could jump to, and it doesn't look too good because it's defended and you can't really get rid of it easily at all. You gotta kind of move your knight back or something, hit it, I don't know. Then you're getting taken, so you just completely drop it there. But rook goes to e5, and Hikaru plays b4, and it is attacking this pawn, defended by this pawn, and it's not looking too good for Hans Niemann. He drops his knight back to attack the c3 pawn, and now Hikaru takes, attacking the queen. Hans Niemann takes back, And now he's got 2 attackers on this with 1 defender, and rook defends it. So there's 2 defenders, and Hans Niemann just plays a waiting move, which is not the right idea, but it's not too bad. It is defending this knight, but it's already defended by 2 other pieces. So we have rook going to b3, and now queen goes to c5, which is no good. He loses his entire advantage. It's pretty much equal. Queen to b2, setting up this attack with the rook and the queen. The rook defends it, which is the incorrect defense. And now pawn forwards, and if you take this, I don't even know what happens. What happens? Rook to f1, and you set up Alekin's gun, which is a tactic. That's insane. So he doesn't take it. Instead, he takes the other pawn. Knight takes c3, rook takes, and the queen takes the knight on d4. We have a6 by Hikaru. If you take here, I'm pretty sure rook f1. Oh no, because it's pinned. I'm not sure. But he doesn't take because he's too scared. King to b8 is played. Bishop takes c6, not sacrificing the bishop because this pawn is pinned. But we have rook to c7, attacking this because there's 2 attackers on the rook. You should be a little scared if you're Hikaru. He pushes the pawn forwards, and you can see it's a mistake, and the analysis bar doesn't like it. But when the queen takes back, Hikaru makes this big play here, and he's attacking, and Hans Niemann doesn't play the right move. He's probably, they're really low on time. They're both in a time scramble here. So he makes a mistake. Hikaru plays bishop back to f3, and Hans Niemann makes a blunder. Blundering, but Hikaru doesn't see it. And now pawn forwards is a blunder because of the exact same idea. Rook to b6, attacking this queen. The queen has to move. a7 is the best square. Now queen takes f6, and you're just losing everything. You're losing this bishop. Something like queen here is an idea. And yeah, it's very scary. And now rook drops back to f1. He doesn't see the idea of rook here, moving the queen out of the way so you can take here with your queen. He is also at 10 seconds, and Hans Niemann's only at 1.8. So Hans Niemann drops his bishop back, attacking this rook. And because he has to move the rook, he's going to find the move. And he doesn't. Crazy. He's attacking the queen, though, so the queen does have to move anyways. But it just completely sacrifices it to the bishop. The bishop takes it. Rook takes. Rook slides over to e3. I'm really confused that he didn't find this after this got attacked. He had a little bit of time. Bishop goes to d5. King slides over. And Hans Niemann resigns in this position because he lost his queen. And he's down on time by like 9 seconds. And there's increment. So there's no chance that Hikaru loses this game. He's just going to play rook here. Play rook here. And it should be checkmate very, very quickly. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.